I literally had to start this whole video over because I hated the fucking scroll bars and stuff that I had on, like, the hell here. It was like down here somewhere, and then it was over there to the right somewhere. But everything's good now. So I love this video when it came out. I've been wanting to talk about it for a long time. I just haven't really had any time to do that. But yeah, this is a great video to start reacting to. And I have a whole playlist full of videos to watch, so it's going to be fun. So let's get into it. This is called Nintendo Just Tried to Defend Their Greed. Again, this was posted like, I think it was April 9th. Yeah, it was on April 9th, but still, I saw this video. Oh, did you see a sneak peek? Did you see a sneak peek of all the shit I want to talk about? All right, awesome. Anyway, I've been wanting to talk about this video for a while, so let's get into it.
It's no mystery that Nintendo has kind of been fumbling the revelation of the Switch 2, the launch pricing, all sorts of stuff. And that's par for the course. A lot of companies struggle with announcing like new hardware, framing it properly, especially
like the
when there's
Donkey
things
Kong
like
guy.
tariffs that you have to contend with.
The bottom,
But
like it.
they have blown me away in the last day or so with shockingly stupid defense.
Well, now it's in the last month, so good job, Brooks, you dumbass.
Of all of this. Like, seriously, I'm going to show you some stuff in this video that will blow your mind. Stuff that demonstrates the executives over at Nintendo are horrifyingly out of touch. Not just
It's funny, I caught myself like going back to this and like pausing where I wanted to say something because like I feel like Nintendo executives have been out of touch for a very long time. Like I think we all miss the days of like Reggie and Iwata, because like Iwata was the type of person who like would sacrifice his own set. Let's look it up. This is the beauty of doing this. Iwata sacrificing salary. This is cool because I can like kind of corroborate what I'm talking about. I know this AI overview is not always correct, but I mean it's just like it gives you something to go off of. But former CEO of Nintendo took a 50% pay cut in 2013 to avoid layoffs. He made this decision to preserve Nintendo's creative talent, believing a fully staffed company had a better chance of rebounding. And I like it's somewhere in there, but 50% entrepreneur. Oh, I guess. Wow. Okay, an article in 2024 about it. I like having that so I could like corroborate the information if we talk about it. So I will be referring to like a Google search. There's like a Family Guy joke about Google search, and it's really funny. My friend and I really like it, but I've been watching too much Family Guy recently. I gotta make a video about that too because I have opinions on that. But yeah, I miss those days. I miss the days of Reggie and Iwata, and I didn't know it was 50%. That's huge. Imagine making like, so if somebody makes $500,000 a year, right, and then they end up making $250,000 a year, they're accustomed to making $500,000 a year. They could very easily live within the means of $250,000, but you got to think that their lifestyle is already like set to that. So I'm sure that was incredibly difficult. That was during the Wii U era, I think. But yeah, I feel like especially like I think the way they treat Smash players and Smash tournaments, I need to find a video about that and talk about that too, because that's a big deal. But like and then I like the joke where it's like Nintendo would sue a baby named Luigi or something. I'm like, holy shit, it's true. I mean, but yeah, bottom line, his point about them being out of touch, completely agree with. Let's keep going.
just with like gamers in general, but also just with regular human beings. I'm absolutely in awe of the stupidity that this launch has demonstrated, and I'm going to share it with you because stupid things are funny.
Yes.
Quick recap: the Nintendo Switch was revealed, shown off with a bunch of cool little bitty features, a bunch of surprise releases as well, even an exclusive game.
I am
from
hyped about
FromSoft
that. I don't give a
coming
damn.
at
I don't give a
some point in
hell. I don't give a
2026. And I think
ass.
a lot of
I
gamers
am
were actually
excited about
somewhat
that.
impressed by that presentation. I at least know I was. But one thing was notably absent from that presentation, and that was pricing. In the hours that followed the reveal, people started to figure...
I do want to stop this because there is a video. Hey, look at that. I can switch to me. That way I don't spoil anything. There is a... Oh my God, where's this video? Oh, here it is. Speaking of pricing, I do want to show you this. This is really damn funny. So this is a commercial. I want to show you the comments too. So this is the Mario Kart World Mario Bundle commercial. Like whatever it plays, it plays. It's 30 seconds, so it still feels loud to me. I'll turn it down to my ears a little bit.
An unprecedented transcontinental race begins.
Oh hell yeah!
On Nintendo Switch 2, Mario Kart World.
There's no fucking price. Hold on, I'll take my look. There's no fucking price. Look at the comments. Hold on. Did they disable them? No. Talk about a lack of confidence removing the price from the end of the trailer. This was 2 weeks ago. So this is still April 21st. So it's only 2 weeks ago. I'm behind, but I'm not that fucking behind. All right. So we'll go back down. We'll read some comments because these comments are funny as hell. Hold on. Let's see. I like that there's a blank spot where the price probably was before it was edited out. And that's a super easy fix. They could literally just be like, hey, make a red box in Photoshop and just put it over the price. That's hilarious. When we said drop the price, this isn't what we meant. That's great. That's a whole lot of empty space beneath the availability date. So basically everybody's in $80 from... $80 for a Mario Kart game, Mr. Krabs, with an open world, Squidward, with an open world, yeah. Oh, sorry. The Mario bundle for Mario Kart World. Amazing. I'm glad this Mario Kart ad was free to watch. I thought you guys were going to charge us. So, yeah, people are pissed at Nintendo, as they should be. So that's fine. I'm actually gonna get up real quick. Yeah, people are pissed. Like no shit. And the biggest, I wonder if you saw my slutty shorts, but I think the biggest reason that people are pissed about this is the principle, and that's where I am. I'm in that same camp because the principle is like, look, if Elden Ring was $100, it would be fucked that it would be $100. I'd buy it because it's so where I platinumed Elden Ring on PS4 and PC. What does that say about me? Huge nerd, but I still did it. Elden Ring, I mean, this is my Elden Ring tattoo. If you haven't seen it, it's just the whatever. I can actually, hold on now. Hold on, I can show you. See? It's hard to, the hell? See? I'm dedicated to the craft, okay? So Elden Ring is like my favorite game of all time. I would buy it. If it was like $80, I would have bought it. I think it was like $70 bucks, whatever. Yeah, I gave them 70 mallards, whatever. Are ducks and mallards the same thing? I don't know, but like Elden Ring is like $69.99. Is it still? Let's check. Elden Ring price on Steam. Let's see. Hold on. I don't know if it'll accidentally pull up like sensitive information. I don't want that to happen to me. Could you imagine the first video of these that I make and I dox myself somehow? That'd be stupid as hell. No fucking way. Elden Ring right now is $60. Elden Ring. I know, like, it's $60. It came out in 2022. $60. I mean, you could get the Shadow of the Erdtree edition, which is $100. But you get a lot of stuff with it. I mean, it's worth $100. It's that much content for $100. But, like, I don't think Mario Kart World is going to be worth $80. Anyway.
Figure out
I know I went on a long tangent, but I feel pretty strongly about this, so let's just keep going.
what the console was going to be priced at.
Oh.
And they started to figure out why maybe Nintendo didn't communicate that on their massive platform.
Damn it, now I can't hear. Hold on. Ow. Yeah, I'm like still trying to get the audio where I want it. I'm going to leave all this in. We're working out the kinks. We're working out the quirks. It'll be all right.
while there were
This
hundreds
is
of thousands,
perfect.
if not millions of people watching.
Sounds
They
good
announced
now.
that the Switch 2 was going to be priced roughly $50 more than most people expected at $450, and that already was like a bit much. But
I thought
if
$450
the
was a
game
pretty
lineup
good
is
price.
good, we can deal with it. I don't think that would have been like the end all be all. But then another couple of hours went by, and people started to notice store listings for various games. And what would emerge was the reality.
Yeah, so Andrew and I both loved the reveal. I think everybody was just hyped that it was like Switch 2, and I was too. I was like lost in the sauce. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna fib. But I was lost in the sauce myself. But like, yeah, once the come down to that high and you start paying attention to stuff like this, it like starts to suck, doesn't it?
That Nintendo is charging $80 as the starting price for some of their most anticipated and big budget games, specifically Mario Kart World. And to add insult to injury, the MSRP for physical versions that you'll buy like on the shelf at Best Buy, Walmart, Target, whatever, those are going to be priced at $90 if you want the physical version. What's amazing is
Let's just make sure. Physical copy. What is it? Mario Kart World price. Specification said physical. Don't believe people saying the physical version is $90. That's misinformation. Yes, it will be $80, but the game will be on cartridge. So is this like, was that debunked? I mean, you could dive into Reddit, but like, let's actually, I think this is good. We'll do our own research. I'll do it in front of y'all. So like, specification says physical. Don't believe people saying the physical version is $9. Leave me alone. So it says $80 for physical here. Well, it's $80. So I don't know where this guy got his information, but apparently that's wrong. So also, even if I do watch these videos at a time, like, or like past their due date or past their prime or whatever that means, I'll still be checking. So, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it changes. But yeah, right now the physical copy is at $80, so this might be wrong.
We all kind of naively assumed that the greedy company that would be the villain of 2025 would be Take-Two Interactive with Grand Theft Auto 6, that they would price that at $80 or $90 or $100.
Now, I think it would be worth $80 because this is one of the only games that I could see justifiably being $80 because it's GTA fucking 6. But I think 60 is great. 70 is pushing it if it's worth it. But only like a handful of, as long as it stayed below 80 and only 80 was like for games like this, I think that would be okay. But like, I think most like AAA games are only really worth 60. But like a game like this, I would pay $80 for. Like, I would pay $80. Like I said, Elden Ring is still $60. Like, what the fuck?
And that would be the first domino that falls on the way to normalizing higher price points for AAA games. But Nintendo straight up said, hold my Joy-Cons, and did it first for some reason. So already people were kind of peeved about that. But then there were tariffs announced, specifically levied against Vietnam and Cambodia, two countries where Nintendo actually had shifted manufacturing.
Okay, so like that's an actual source. So what he said about the, I'm assuming that what he said about the $90 thing was just hearsay, but at least he does show evidence for that,
in order to
or for
avoid
like certain
tariffs
things like this.
in
So
China and other places where a lot of tech is built and assembled. So overnight, basically, the profit margin on the Switch 2, which was quite healthy after bumping it to 450, evaporated. And so they straight up
Again, I
pulled
think
the pre-order
450 is
date
pretty good for
from
the Switch.
US,
Like, I'm not trying to
so US customers can't pre-order the console.
Don't act like I'm trying to defend them as a company. I do think just 450 in today's climate, it's pretty reasonable, because like games, or to my knowledge, allegedly, I will be using that word a ton, allegedly, it's not new for game companies to sell consoles at a loss and then get their money back on the games. So that's fine. That's been happening forever. Whatever. I think 450 for the Switch is still, that's a pretty damn good price. I wish it was like 400. I think 400 might actually make more sense, but you know,
At all. They say they will at a later date allow you to pre-order it, but as of right now, it's just on pause. And they
I do know people that have pre-ordered this, and it is on
announced
pause
that
for
they're
them.
doing the same in Canada. So if you're Canadian and you would have pre-ordered the console like tomorrow, today, depending on when you're watching this video, you just can't. You just can't. And so no doubt this is a headache for Nintendo. But the biggest thing, and what I've seen the most people frustrated by and ticked off about, is how Nintendo across the board is trying to nickel and dime everybody. And
Yeah.
it really seems like they are not just cranking prices.
So whatever this guy
response to tariffs or
says,
something.
like,
they are
whether it's right or wrong, that is the issue.
actively trying to milk all of their customers as dry as humanly possible. And that's reflected in another thing, which is that the the C button on the Joy-Con that they showed
This
off
is
for,
fucked
like,
up.
Nintendo
I've watched this
chat.
video already, but
Well,
this is fucked
like,
up.
straight up, you don't get to use the button unless you pay for their online subscription. They monetized a button with a subscription service. You cannot make this up. It's crazy, dude. As they say in this Polygon article, you see what happens if you aren't a subscriber and press the C button, that big button right there. Well, not much, according to the vice president of player and product experience,
Man.
Bill Trinan. He said, quote, "You would be able to find out about the NSO or Nintendo Switch Online subscription there and get a sense of some of the functionality." I am not joking. If you do not give them money for the online service,
Yeah.
this button on the physical controller you bought just doesn't work. And when you press it, no doubt accidentally occasionally while playing games, it will bring up a pop-up to invite you to subscribe
Yeah.
to that membership. It's unbelievable. Pair this
Yeah.
with another announcement, which is
That's pretty rough. Bill Trinan, oh, poor Bill. I thought Bill was one of us. I thought he was a good guy. He probably still, I don't know the guy, but who knows? I feel like Bill Trinan was always one of those guys that's just like, I'm just doing my job. But he was doing his job with titans like Reggie and Iwata. So, like, he was doing his job with them, you know? And now he's doing his job with fucking Doug Bowser, which we'll get to that in this video. Doug fucking Bowser. They hired a guy called Doug fucking Bowser. They're going to hire the next CEO, and his name's going to be Martin K. Rule. Anyway.
that the Switch 2 welcome tour isn't going to be free. This was that weird like tech demo thing where they
This is
explain
fucked
what
too.
the Switch 2 is able to do and why it works the way it does and how magnets work and all that fun stuff. This is like a little spin-off game that you should be including.
Now, somebody said Reggie. Somebody, I was streaming the other day. I forgot who said it in my chat, but like Reggie Fees calls out Nintendo. Let's see. This is on Reddit. Oh, Yang Yi. Gotta watch this eventually. We're not watching the Yang Yi video. We'll save it. Save to watch later. But I do want to watch this. Yang Yi's awesome, by the way. Shout out to Yang Yi. But yeah, so also there are God, there's so many videos I need to be watching. Anyway, But yeah, I think Reggie. We'll get to that another day.
In the console for free for people to just understand why this thing they bought for $450, if not more, once they raise prices again, why it's cool and why it's worth your money. But instead, they're going to be charging a cool, clean $10 for that. And when asked
for a tech
why
demo,
they're charging for this thing that every other company on the planet would include for free, almost without a doubt, Trinan, the same guy, as we mentioned earlier, the VP of Product and Player Experience, said it's a pretty robust piece of software. Okay.
Same reaction.
Sure. It's intended for
I had
those
the same
that
reaction
want more
that he did.
information about the system rather than necessarily a quick intro to everything it does. Money, please. Like, it's crazy.
Oh my God. Like, that's Parks and Rec, by the way. Money, please.
Like, I'm taking crazy pills for a little bit because you see some like hardcore Nintendo fans that are defending it and being like, well, it's just the price you pay for quality.
Now I think Henry
That's
Winkler,
what you get when you have a cutting edge piece of
that's a stupid
technology,
joke.
and you like want to bash your head against the wall.
When you abandon a joke before you say it, he was the dad in that scene in Parks and Rec, and it was good in my head.
But then you see on social media everybody kind of agreeing with this. In fact, at the Nintendo Treehouse Live event where they were showcasing some gameplay of upcoming projects that they showed the day before,
They're
I
never
actually
inviting my
pulled it
ass
up
to
on
one
my
of those.
phone
I can tell you right now.
while I was eating breakfast.
Not after this
and I
video.
saw all of the comments are just flooding the chat with drop the price, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. I don't think Nintendo has ever had this much blowback on anything they've ever done. But I think it's really remarkable that they thought they could not just release the console a little more expensive, but that they could raise the standard price for AAA games. Granted, it's not for...
And like, again, a $20 increase is not it's like, again, I think that the theme of this video is principle. Like, that's why I'm mad at Nintendo. That's why I've been mad at Nintendo for years, because they make good shit. It's just they run their business like a bunch of fucking Donkey Kongs. You know what I mean? Like little Diddies running around, little Donkey Kong Jr. shitting their goddamn drawers. You know what I mean? Just also, side note, shitting like drawers for underwear. Very funny. Donkey Kong Jr. shitting. Anyway.
For everything.
This is terrible. This is going to be fun. I'm having fun doing these, and I want to do a lot more.
That they're putting out. Donkey Kong, for example, is going to be 70, while Mario Kart is 80. But they are raising the bar. Now, if another company...
And again, like, I hope I didn't cut him off, but, like, I probably did. But, like... companies are going to see this and they'll be like, what if they're just going to keep pushing harder and harder? They're going to push the envelope so much that within the next 10 years, games will probably be $100. Like, and I hope I'm wrong.
Comes out in prices, GTA 6 at $80. They're not the bad guys now. Nintendo took that blow for them. And so they've established that as the new ceiling. And that's not something that you should just roll
I like the way
over
this guy dresses. He dresses like me. Very monochromatic, but his background's really nice.
And take as a game.
I don't know why.
Because here's the thing, even if
I like
Mario
that
Kart
about this
World
guy.
is worth $80, it has cascading effects all throughout the rest of the industry. It'll have effects on everything Nintendo does, sure, but also PlayStation, Xbox,
Yeah,
third-party
he's right.
devs like Take-Two Interactive, EA, all of those big AAA games, certainly Ubisoft.
It's funny because the big developers are going to take from it, and the indie developers are going to be like, fuck that. Here's a game for $20. What's that game? The drug dealer game? Hold on. It's not Drug Dealer Simulator. Schedule 1. Schedule 1 price Steam. $20. The indie devs are going to be like, you know what? Fuck this garbage. Here's a really great experience for $20. So, all right. I'm going to leave that up just in case. We'll have an extra
All of them
tab.
are going to start to set that as the standard. Or
Yeah, he's
they'll be
right.
like,
I think
oh, well,
the
we're gonna
big
price it at
guys, the really
70
greedy
as a
corporate
gift
fucks
to
are
the
going to do
consumer.
that.
Bitch,
But
that's
like,
full price. At least it was until a week ago. Again, it's a significant thing. This is how you normalize.
this guy's got a
the
great
higher
head of hair
prices.
too.
People
Can't
said
relate.
when
But
NBA 2K21 came out at $70 that was just going to be for select titles, the big budget
God, that game
stuff.
looks
We
like
shouldn't
balls.
get used to it.
And not in
it
a
was
good
just gonna
way.
be for special releases. And what do you see now? Now that is the normal price. price. That is the standard AAA price, and that's exactly what's going to happen with these
games
$80
always look like
games as
ass,
well.
though.
But because they couldn't just have one scandal, they then have to get into this other scandal with pricing and monetizing a button on the controller tied to their
Still
online
fucked
subscription service, which already is like, are you insane? It's just asinine. And then they double down on all of this time and time and time again. They, of course, have had some things that are outside of their control, such as the tariffs, which might end up seeing a further price increase. Some analysts I just was reading about on Bloomberg are suggesting they may have to price the Switch 2 at $530 minimum just to make a sliver of a profit, at which point I don't know who is buying that console. I really don't. I have no idea, because it also probably sees all of the accessories see price in.
That's another thing. They're gonna charge out the ass for Pro Control, and they're gonna have like different controllers. They're gonna have the Pro Controllers and the Joy-Cons, and they're all gonna be separate. And it's like, there is no way that the old Pro Controller is gonna be compatible with the Switch 2. There's just no way. There's no way.
Increases as well. The Joy-Con.
I actually thought about like I thought about like trading all my Switch stuff in and getting the Switch 2, but now I'm like, should I just wait a year to buy this?
Will go to $80-$90 a piece. The Pro Controller goes to $110. Like, this has cascading effects all throughout. Without a doubt, it is a disaster for Nintendo. So how should they deal with this? How would you expect them to deal with it? Would you expect them to communicate to gamers, just meet them where they're at and like explain candidly why they've had to price things the way that they are?
And that's all they would have to do, though. That's the thing.
$80 price for Mario Kart. Explain that, we were...
A little bit of humility goes a long way. And if they were just that way, no company on earth can be genuinely humble. It seems like. It feels that way. Maybe I'm just frustrated with all this and that's how I feel. Maybe my feelings are misplaced, but it's like every company in the world, or at least when a big company like this fucks up and does something that people don't like, humility is just the last thing on their agenda. So
braced for problems with global influences or whatever. Maybe we do that. No. Nintendo has chosen to make a series of hilarious mistakes over the last.
This is a great part of the video. Like, these are really funny. It's sad, but it's really funny.
To explain away this or to quell the concerns and fears with the pricing, but it doesn't do it. So buckle up. If you have pillows or oven mitts or maybe even just sit on your hands, because the face palming is going to be quite
I'm prepared to break my
powerful
glasses
in urge.
again.
I mean, you're gonna trust me. This is top tier.
This is
stupid.
crazy.
They have somehow sprinted to the peak of Mount Stupid, and it really is something to behold. So the first thing Nintendo decided to do was to send out executives.
How far fucking back is his desk? Like, I know it just doesn't matter. I'm just curious. Like, if look how far back this goes. This is crazy. This is amazing. I love this too. This is what I focus on in these videos. Like, I'm also, and this is going to be a big part of these videos too, is like, I love the production value and I like seeing other people's setups, because like, I like his plaques back here. I make a little bit of a cameo back here. But like, yeah, this is probably a really expensive arm. We're only 10 minutes in. Oh my God. But yeah, it's interesting to me.
Everybody loves to talk to journalists, press, and the media in order to justify the pricing that they were doing. Already not a great idea. We've looked at some of those comments already in this video, and they are not exactly compelling, but they decided to double down and send them out directly to game journalists, such as the teams over at IGN. They asked the same guy we've looked at the comments already of, Trinan, and in his response to the questions about pricing, Trinan insisted Mario Kart World justifies its price tag and pointed to the upcoming dedicated Mario Kart World Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, like they're not going to say, well, I don't know,
and what it has to
I don't
offer.
think so.
He said,
nah,
quote,
you got a point there, guy.
I would say it's less about the strategy of pricing Mario Kart World. It's more just whenever we look at a given game, we just look at what is the experience.
Like Jack Black's reaction down here is mine.
Mario Kart World, I think, especially as you see from the Nintendo Direct, not to give you any hints or anything, but I did read your article this morning, and I think you had mentioned that you didn't find a lot to discover when roaming around. So I would say tune into our Mario Kart Direct to see what maybe...
Yeah, you dumbass piece of shit. Watch our... Damn, that one nearly took me. God damn. Sorry, Bill Trennan. I'll never make fun of you again. But it's like, yeah, you dumbass piece of shit. Like, go watch our stuff, you know, and then you could actually see some stuff. Like, what a dick. It's like that scene in the AVGN video where he's talking about the Nintendo Power, and he's like, that's a great suggestion. Tune in next week to an episode of Friends where this happens, and he's like, dear Nintendo, what the fuck's your problem?
Be able to find out about that. But honestly,
or something like that. I probably butchered
it. So big and so vast, and you will find so many little things in it to discover. And there's still some other aspects remaining.
He literally just hit us with a trust me, bro.
Playing the game, especially buying, they're going to find this will probably be the richest, quite the word choice, Mario Kart experience they've ever.
That's
had.
Fucked up. He knew it.
Basically,
if he fucked up and said richest,
because we
like
think
that's crazy.
We can get away with pricing it at 80 with what we have in the game. So suck it up, deal with it. Like it literally is just corporate word salad. But as with most corporate word salad, whenever you start to see it employed, it usually betrays something that they're trying to hide from, or something they're embarrassed about, something they're trying to like pivot away.
Yeah, they're trying
from.
to save their own
and
ass.
That is,
like, yeah,
without a doubt, the stress and the anxiety tied to all of these price hikes and how upset the community is.
Or they can just fix it.
Again, it gets better because they didn't have enough. You know, like that answer, not great. I don't think anybody is looking at that answer being like, okay, yeah, no, he convinced me. Guys, let's give him $80. I don't think anybody's doing that. So they decided to send out Mr. Bowser, the president of Nintendo.
They sent out Mr. Bowser. Like, I don't care if his name's that, but that's just like, how the fuck do you do that? They had to have like been sitting in a boardroom. It's like, dude, this guy's last name is fucking Bowser. Can you believe it? Like, can you fucking believe it?
Of America. And he might have just won the award for the stupidest thing of 2025.
Fucking Roger Duck Hunt didn't make the cut, seems like. These jokes aren't funny, by the way.
Speaking to CBC, they interviewed Mr. Bowser, and what he said
it's never
was,
not gonna be funny.
Quote,
look at this bald fuck. Look at this guy. He doesn't know a goddamn thing about Nintendo. I think one thing that I wanted to mention is like Reggie was a PR god. You know? Like he could sell you anything. Like he could sell you a turd and make you think it's chocolate. Like he literally could sell anything. But he was also just super charismatic too. Like he was cool. Like my body is ready, dude. Like he was the guy. He was willing to make appearances and willing to like either embarrass himself or put himself out there to do stuff. But like, I don't know where I heard it from. Allegedly, so we'll use the A word again. Allegedly, Doug Bowser doesn't really like. This guy doesn't really like strike me as gamer, but he doesn't really like come out and do things. Like he doesn't have to, granted, like, okay, fair enough. Like he doesn't have to, but like that was a big part of why Reggie did what he did. You know, that's why he was huge. That's why he was important. So
as we look at,
he still has more hair than me, by the way.
Nintendo Switch 2, and you think about the feature sets that I talked about, we believe that the pricing is appropriate for the value of the machine and the gameplay experience.
This motherfucker's calling it the machine. He watches Bert Kreischer once. Again, these jokes aren't funny. I'm just letting them rip.
Overall. Okay, it might be worth $450. If we have to like raise prices to $500 plus, I really don't think that makes sense. But okay,
that still bothers me though. Like legit, all jokes aside, like he calls it when you look at the machine. Like when you look at the fucking machine, like that's like so corporate. That's so fucking corporate. Like what the hell? When you look at the machine, you know what a fucking machine is? I went to a Quick Trip tonight on my way home, and they had a little robot guy like cleaning the floor. That's a fucking machine. Even though it's adorable. That's a fucking machine. You know it's a fucking machine? I'm trying to think of like actual... I'm not a, like a... I was going to think of like a truck. Like a really powerful truck. The fucking King Ranch. The King Ranch is a fucking machine. Look it up. We're going to do that. King Ranch truck. Look at this son bitch. That is a fucking machine if I ever goddamn seen one. That is a machine. That is not a Nintendo Switch. Anyway.
It still doesn't point to the question of games, which is something you'll see them do a lot, where they kind of combine the pricing of the Switch and the games, because they don't want to talk about the pricing of the games specifically, because that's kind of hard to defend. So instead they try to say, well, the Switch 2 is actually a really good value when you price out the components and stuff like that. But he continues, we recognize there are some people that may not be able to afford the Switch 2's price point, including the console and the game.
This is great.
That's why we wanted to make the other Switch platforms available, so people still have an opportunity to come into our gaming universe, be part of these characters in these worlds, and see value, if you will, in whatever rung of the platform they come in. He's straight up calling you broke.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Straight up. If you, I'm gonna die. He's straight
so
up.
I did the same thing like 5 times in this video.
Go buy that console from.
That's the worst. That is probably the worst thing about this whole thing. They basically are like, yeah, you might be able to scrape together some value, you little broke bastard. If you're able to. Are you still playing a Switch? Are you still playing a Switch Lite? I have a Switch Lite somewhere. And I don't know where it is. I bought one for my sister and she never played it, but I have it now. You still playing a little Switch Lite? Little baby back bitch? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is the worst thing that you could have said is like, and he like sugarcoated it in like corporatese, but like, it doesn't make it any better. Like, damn.
Years ago that we've already been selling. Go buy that.
Damn.
Brokey.
Damn.
Like,
damn.
That's the approach they're taking, really? But it's not the first time that an executive has said something so dumb, basically telling their own customers or potential customers, yeah, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Like daring people not to, and to just go buy the old thing everybody's ready to move on from.
This is crazy.
You see, back in the year of our Lord and Savior Jeff Keighley, 2013.
Oh, hold on. I got to show that. This is great. Hold on. I love you, Jeff. Give Angry Joe the old what for. If you get that, that one's for you. Is that a Dorito, like, Pope hat? Anyway.
That a guy named Don Matrick did. You see, Don Matrick headed up the Xbox and Xbox
I remember this guy, but I never knew his name. I remember what he looked like.
All through that 360 generation leading into the Xbox One. And if you don't remember the Xbox One launch period, that's fine. Basically, all you need to know is that a lot of people were quite upset because they announced that the Xbox One was going to be always online. You could not, like, trade copies of games. So if you bought a copy of a game, you could not give it to your friend or sell it secondhand. It was going to be tied to your account forever. Like, just think of any sort of anti-competitive,
that's why physical media
policy.
is amazing.
The Xbox One almost certainly preached it and put it forward as
like I'm not above buying digital stuff, but like
the
I love physical media.
Was with regard to the always online connection.
Hold on. Physical media. Physical media. This is the way to go. Like, I purchased this and I have it. I own it. I don't even have a record player. I just have the Brendan O'Brien mix of 10 by Pearl Jam just at my disposal. You know, but it's physical media. I have it. I have it right here and it stays with me. This is their shoes, but I have it. It's just right there. Physical media is awesome. Like, the only way a company could take this from me is if somebody worked for that company that like pressed this and they come to my house and they fucking steal it. That's the only way. I can listen to this if I have a record player anywhere I want. If I had like a VHS player or a DVD player or whatever, if I have physical media, I can listen to this offline. Physical media. And also, look, it's just cool to own. It's just fucking awesome to have. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, this is awesome. This is a perfect album, by the way. I think so. But yeah, so physical media.
connectivity. It's just a really sucky thing to be told, like, hey, buy our multi-$100 console, and then you can't play games if your internet drops out. If you
We
live
could have done a whole
somewhere rural
podcast
and you
episode
don't
about
have a
this video
steady
alone.
internet
So
connection.
I'm glad I'm doing
That
this
just
the way I'm
sucks.
doing
And
it. But
there were
like,
even reports of like active duty service members
This is
in the
fucked.
military, in military bases all over the world, serving like the United States, asking Xbox, an American company, hey, we're not going to be able to buy this. We don't have steady internet at this military base in the middle of wherever.
That's insane.
So
This is crazy.
What are we supposed to do? And Mr. Don Matrick, he did an interview with the one and only Jeff Keighley and had possibly the most out of touch, dumbass explanation for what people should do in that instance. And you'll recognize that it sounds quite familiar to what we just read from Mr. Bowser at Nintendo. Okay, you
Mr.
ready?
Bowser kills me
Again,
every time.
pillows, duct tape to your hands, oven mitts, something like that. Get ready.
And I think people are going to love it, and then they're going to understand what we're trying to create and how it links games and entertainment, the functionality of the box, some of the advantages that you get of having a box
I wonder if
that
all those
is
celebrities
designed
care about what
to
he's saying.
use an online state. So that, to me, is a future-proof choice, and I think people could
That was a future-proof choice to him.
have arguably gone the other way if we didn't do it, and fortunately we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right.
That is fucking brutal. Hold on, I'm gonna play that one more time.
For people who gone the other
Listen.
way if we didn't do it, and fortunately we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360. That's your message. If you don't,
Well,
if you don't like it.
if you have zero
I love you, Jeff Keighley.
access to the internet, that is an offline device. I mean, seriously, when I read the blogs and thought about who's really the most impacted, there was a person who said, hey, I'm on a nuclear sub,
Right.
and I don't even know what it means to be on a nuclear sub, but I've got to imagine that it's not easy to get an internet connection.
It's amazing.
He literally is like, dude, I bet that's hard as fuck. Anyway, enjoy your Xbox 360, you fuckface. What a dick.
He's actually
What a
telling,
fucking
like,
cock.
active duty service members, just buy that thing that's old. You know?
What a dick sucker. What a
It's
action.
not for-
What a fucking boner sucker. Ain't nothing wrong with sucking boners, but that guy is a boner sucker.
for you. Stop. It's amazing. It's shocking. It's stunning. I also find it hilarious that he's like, yeah, it's a future proofing of the device, as if requiring an online connection makes it future proofed. It's the opposite. It makes it so in the future, when those servers are not on, you will not be able to use that device. It's asinine. It's dumb. And he's also like, I think there's a lot of people that would go the other way. Like, people would not buy it unless it was always online. Like, this is how horrifically out of touch these executives are, because
That's
they're
a
not
lot.
actually gamers. Mr. Matrick himself actually had a history at like various software companies, mostly in the upper echelons, where he lurked in like a variety of leadership positions, mostly overseeing various studios and
Horrible.
the management of those.
Motherfucker worked for Zynga? Ain't no way. This mother... I gotta stop swearing so much. Maybe I don't. Who knows? But this dude caught him at the Zynga. Dude, pull up at the damn Zynga. Damn's okay.
Not actually like making games or playing games. And what's really, really funny is that on May 21st, 2013, he revealed the Xbox One, and then there was this whole blow up and drama around the
Wow.
always online connectivity. All of these features he wanted in that device. And that was in May. And then he left Microsoft in July. So from the time he did that interview at E3 2013, within a few weeks, he was gone, which is crazy. And of course, he would
Amazing.
be immediately replaced by Phil Spencer. And
Yeah.
Phil kind of kickstarted the next era of Xbox. And he had to do a lot of work to unwind and
poor
untangle
Phil
the mess
Spencer. He
that
got thrown to
Don
the
had
wolves.
left for him
God
and the
bless him.
team. But the point is,
In that situation,
this
for
is
sure.
not the first time with Nintendo that corporate executives have expressed horrifically out of touch sentiments, basically daring their customers not to buy the device and to stick with the old one from a decade ago. This is not the
Crazy.
first time. It happened back at the start of the Xbox One generation, and I think we all know how that generation went for Xbox. Gamers said, "Oh, really? You're telling me, you don't like the pricing? Oh, well, don't buy it, brokey." That's basically what they're telling you. They're daring you not to buy it. So you know what? Bet. Oh my god, I feel like such a zoomer. I just said
I'll probably
bet,
wait
ironic.
till
It
like
was
a
sort of
year
ironic.
passes
Please
until
don't
I don't know why I
subscribe.
said it was weird like that. I'll probably wait
But
for a year
seriously,
until I buy a
they are
Switch 2.
daring you not to buy
'Cause I wanna see
their
all the
product.
discourse
and
around
at some
it.
point, when a company is asking you not to buy their product because you can't afford it or whatever, you should just like give them what they want. Okay, I won't buy it.
Yep.
Okay, I won't
I'll
buy
be
the
doing
Switch
that
2.
myself.
Yeah, if you're gonna charge $80 for games and then talk down to me for being upset about that, why should I give you my money? Like, I'm not going to. And across the board, the Switch 2 has been a masterclass in corporate greed, in monetizing every little bitty thing they possibly can, even
Yeah.
down to the console exclusives like the new From Software game. All of those are like multiplayer games. They require the Nintendo Online membership, which
This
right
game
now
looks
is
awesome,
relatively
but
cheap
that's still
compared to
wild.
what it could be. But I would bet you very good money that Nintendo is going to raise the price of that right before or right after that game launches in order to milk players even more dry.
You know what's crazy is they like soft announced Elden Ring for the Switch. If Elden Ring is still $60 on the Switch, like that's, you think it'll go up in price? I doubt it, but like that'd be crazy.
It's just amazing how much they have overstepped what they probably could have gotten away with. I think the 450 price point, it's aggressive, but I think we could deal with it. But then you see the $80 games, $90 physical versions. You see them pricing these little spin-off projects at $10. I didn't even get into some of the other stuff, such as the upgrades, the digital like enhanced upgrade for Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Each of those being $10 in order to make it like run at a higher resolution and frame rate, something that would normally be a free patch on PC.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I agree. I feel both ways about this, I think, because it's like, I think $10 is pretty, that's like 10. I mean, $10 is $10 to a lot of people, including myself. But like, it could be worse. I thought it was like 20 or 30. I thought it was going to be like 20 or 30 to be perfectly honest. But like, yeah, what he's saying is correct. Like, I do believe it should just be, if you have the game, whether it's a digital copy or a physical copy. I have a physical copy of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I don't even fucking like Tears of the Kingdom. There's a hot take that I'll have to talk about later. But it might not even be hot. I think it's just, that's like a mild salsa take. Because I think there's other people that, you know, they make 2-hour-long video essays about why they don't like that game, but it's Andrew's favorite game of all time. So love you, Andrew. I'm sorry.
PC. Now they're charging you $10 for that, unless you're
Also, this was free if you could emulate it. And Nintendo also hates anybody that emulates anything. It's like, how dare you take what we had and that you bought with your own hard-earned money. Well, let me run that one back. Own hard-earned money. How dare you take the ROM of a game that you bought and you play it on an emulator and make it 60 FPS and run it the way it was, like the way God intended, you know, before we butchered it with the limitations of the hardware. And I understand there's hardware limitations, but like, dude, I've seen footage of like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom emulated in like 60 FPS, and it looks money. It's money. But like, Nintendo hates you if you use emulators too, so
subscribe
you're not allowed to have fun unless we tell you how to have fun.
to various memberships that Nintendo has, or all of the other countless things that Nintendo is trying to get away with the launch of the Switch 2, because they feel entitled to your money.
Yeah.
That really is all that this comes down to. They feel entitled to your money. They think they can do this and get away with it, and people will still buy it in droves, and it'll just be like water under the bridge. I mean, that's really what they think this is. And I'm not so sure at this point. You know, when they first did that showcase of the Switch 2, I was like, okay, I don't think this blows up anywhere near as big as the Switch, because we have other handhelds on the market now, but it probably does pretty well. But now I'm really starting to question that presumption, because at this point, I seriously don't know anybody who is down for this. Like, everybody is ticked off over what Nintendo is doing.
Me.
There's a very high likelihood they're going to have to raise the price even more in the US and potentially Canada and other countries as well. And as a result, like, there's just no reason to get into it right now. Maybe in a year it makes sense. Maybe right before the Dusk Bloods or whatever comes out. Maybe then it makes sense to get into a Switch 2. But until or unless Nintendo is willing to walk some of this back and not talk down to their own customers, I don't know why I would support them. Like, I love spending money frivolously. I'm a YouTuber. It's basically my love language. And I still am like, I don't want to give them money.
Damn, I feel that. That doesn't have anything to do with the video, but I feel that. Look at this guy. I got him. It's supposed to be like, God, come on now. Look. Well, hold on now. Give him a second. He's shy. There we go. Yeah, look at that. It's a cute little squishy polar bear guy. Talk about spending money frivolous. Well, it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be ergonomic. Like I can put it right here and rest my wrist if I'm working a lot, which is great. That's why I bought it. I named him Pillbug. Why did I name it Pillbug? Because it sounds funny. Mind your damn business.
I don't want to buy this. I'm good. I mean, I was thinking, yeah, I'll pre-order it. We'll do a video or two on it. And at this point, as a matter of principle, I'm just not interested. Like, go
stay
dry
strong,
up, Nintendo. But as always, I'm going to be really interested to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. My audience is not typically super into Nintendo stuff, just as is. And I can only imagine what you guys are feeling with this.
Well, let's see what they're feeling.
We talk a lot of feel this console. Oh, maybe it's a little bit more expensive. It's a $450. Okay. And everybody would have just rolled over and continued on with their day. Clearly, you think that something's wrong with me if I don't want to buy it or if I'm upset about the price. And instead of engaging in like an honest discourse about that and just being like, I talk about games and stuff. Like, what is this? This is
probably shouldn't have skipped that. Next time I won't do that, but this video, I just feel like this video has gone on for a long time. Oh, 50 minutes. Jesus Christ. Luke Stevens, great video. Let's see what the comments say. I do want to check the comments of the videos that I watch every time because I feel like that's something that other people don't do in these sometimes, but who knows? I don't know anything. Never hire former EA CEOs. Damn. Preach. Sorry, Nintendo, but my money is in another castle. That comment is money. You know what? Okay, I did it. I did you dirty. I'm sorry. I won't do that.
Before the Dusk Bloods or whatever.
I'm gonna watch this whole thing. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna respect the video. I'm not gonna get impatient.
Until or unless Nintendo is willing to walk some of this back and not talk down to their own customers, I don't know why I would support them. Like, I love spending money frivolously. I'm a YouTuber. It's basically my love language.
Yep.
And
I
still
agree with that.
am like,
Very
I don't
hard.
want to give them money. I don't want to buy this. I'm good. I mean, I was thinking, yeah, I'll pre-order it. We'll do a video or two on it. And at this point, as a matter of principle, I'm just not interested. Like, go dry up, Nintendo. But as always, I'm going to be really interested to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. My audience is not typically super into Nintendo stuff.
I gotta watch more of this guy's videos because they're really good.
Only
this one was really good, I think.
What you guys are feeling with this stuff, because we talk a lot about like pricing. We talk a lot about like consumer advocacy, being pro-consumer versus anti-consumer. It's a topic that comes up a lot on my channels, and this is like a masterclass in how to do everything wrong.
Completely
and again,
agree.
it's just amazing because Nintendo, I think, had a home run on their hands. They just reveal this console. Oh, maybe it's a
I
little
think
bit
the
more
end of this
expensive. It's
video could have been
$450.
cut a little bit more.
And everybody would have just
It's a little
rolled over
rambly at
and
the end,
continued on
and I
with
kind
their
of
day.
assumed
Some
that,
people would have
but
bought it.
still a great video.
Some people wouldn't have, but it probably would have done really well. But instead, they've just been greedy at every single step along the way, monetizing
Doesn't make me
buttons,
agree any
monetizing
less.
all sorts of insanity, like little bitty tutorials and tech demos. And then when people have a frustration around it, when people are upset about it, they basically call you a brokey and dare you not to buy the console and stick to the game console from 8 years ago. And you know what? Okay, that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, I won't buy it. Clearly you think that something's wrong with me if I don't want to buy it or if I'm upset
got a
about
nice
the
mouse.
price. And instead of engaging
I think
in
we saw
like
it in
an
the- we
honest
saw it earlier, but-
discourse about that and just be like,
show
oh,
it
we had
again.
to raise the price. Mario Kart World cost us
Nice
200 million,
mouse
300
right
million
there.
to make. If
This
they
one.
were talking honestly
Very
like
nice.
that, I think people would respect it. They still might not buy it, but at least people would respect it. But instead they're like, yeah, so if you're broke, I mean, I guess you're stuck. And they even define it as rungs. They're like, you'll just be entering basically at the bottom.
Yeah, there's like a
rungs
caste
of our
system now of
ecosystem.
like
That's fine.
console
It's so
owners and
stupid
gamers.
insulting. Anyway, I'm
Wild.
getting riled up. I should stop before I get lightheaded. So let me know what you think in the comments. I love and appreciate every single one of you more than you could possibly.
He's talking about
know.
me.
Truly, like I get to do this for a living. I talk about games and
Yeah,
stuff.
this
Like,
guy's
what is
awesome.
This is real life for me, and it was at one
Nice.
time a dream.
He's doing he streams and he's got clips. And he's got a main channel, which is great. He's doing the content game very well. I definitely am going to be watching more of his stuff. If he posts like recent stuff, I need to watch like a more recent video and react to that. But shit. Oops, sorry. Hold on.
But now you've made it a reality by watching my videos. So truly, truly, thank you. But with that, much love. I'll see you in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.
It's
Hey,
very difficult to
whoa.
address what's happening in the video.
This is a video for later, I believe. Yeah, so I got a bunch of videos to watch.
So it's no mystery.
Let's read some more of the comments before we're done. Ever since Iwata died and Bowser replaced Reggie, it's been a constant downward spiral of corporate greed. God help us when Miyamoto and Aonuma die. I don't even want to think of that. They'll be charging us $100 for games at that point. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. I need to watch some of Alanda's videos too. Could you imagine reacting to Charlie's video? I'm dressed like him on accident. I didn't even mean to do that, but like imagine that. That'd be crazy. These companies are making it so easy to not buy their products. Steam Deck. This is crazy. This is a crazy big. Steam Deck $399.99. Steam sales. No online subscription fees. 90% off games. Emulate the console games. Add your own retro games to Steam. Desktop mode. Do anything like PC. Sweet. Yeah. This is a huge. This is huge, honestly. But yep, great video. Luke Stevens, check him out. Subscribe, keep up with him. You'll be seeing a lot more of him, probably so, in the future. I hope this video was entertaining. I know it's like about an hour long, but that's kind of how these go sometimes. But yeah, so I'm excited to do a lot more, and I kind of like having this on the sidebar where I have like, there's a ton of videos that I want to watch and talk about. It's music, TV, media, internet stuff. Like, I love it. I'm a huge media enjoyer. So yeah, but anyways, thank you guys for watching. I guess I'll have an outro for these. Usually when I edit these, if like Phil does them, he just says something. But I guess I'll see you guys next time when we talk about something else. So there you go. I suck at ending stuff, so I might as well just cut it off here.